What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I was just doing a little thought experiment here into what would happen if we burned a ton of SPS, especially at this level now. And mainly the whole point of this is because I'm thinking the more we burn now, the more supply is constrained, especially as we're hopefully heading into a bull market. That would mean that the demand that comes in could actually skyrocket this thing even higher. So obviously, that's just how bull markets work. That's how economics work, supply and demand. But my thought is SPS is low-ish right now. Obviously, it can always go lower, but if we were to burn, and I'm going to put just a hypothetical number out here because I've already worked through the math. Let's say we were to burn like 200 million SPS, roughly at the price of 2.5 cents, which is where we're at right now. We're a little bit above that. And you can see here that burning about 200 million SPS would actually get us down close to the 1 billion range. So that's 1/6 of the supply, decently significant amount, 16, 17-ish%. And what would that equate to in terms of the amount of DEC that would put in? Well, okay, you run the math, and somebody please check my numbers just in case. But it comes out to, right, if you do 200 million times 0.025, that would come out to about $5 million USD. Now, when you convert that to DEC at PEG, that would get us about 5 billion DEC, which sounds like a lot, and it is a lot. Don't get me wrong, right? I mean, we for the longest time could not get below 6 billion DEC. Then we finally got below 5 billion, and now we're back above just because we've burned so much. You can see we bottomed out here about 4.6 billion before land came out, and then all of a sudden things started going up. So speaking of land, if we think about this 5 billion DEC, you can see we have less than 1.5 billion staked on land. And adding another 5 billion to land would actually not even max out land. We'd only be at about 6.5 billion out of the total 7 billion. If all plots were utilizing maxed cards, we would be at about 7.5 billion. So if land were to really get jump started and people wanted to get the most out of their land, and we see that happen over the next 6 to 12 months, we'll call it, with 1.6 and 2.0. I don't think it's likely, but I'm just sharing with you the fact that 5 billion actually isn't that much. Now, on the flip side, if we were to look at rebellion packs, 5 billion DEC would actually mean about 1.25 million rebellion packs. And seeing as we're just over the 750 million mark, or 750,000 mark, that would put us at right about 2 million packs, which is not out of the range of possibility either. Now, again, that's not a perfect look at it simply because anytime, only half of that DEC is going to the DAO, which means that if the team is getting it on the other side, they're recycling it back into the ecosystem, whether they sell it, even though they say that they don't, or if they just process credits on the back end, right? A lot of that stuff is coming back into the ecosystem. So, in a way, it's not a perfect analogy, but I'm just trying to say if we were to burn that much and get our token supply, get SPS down to close to 1 billion. Again, at the end of the day, is that going to make much of a difference if hundreds of thousands of people are coming in? Probably not. But I don't know what this is going to look like in 6 months. Yeah, obviously, I'm excited about where things go, and I'm excited about onboarding new players. But my whole thought process is this is a unique opportunity to burn as much SPS as we have right now, or as we can right now, with the price being so low. And I know a lot of people probably would be very much against that. They wouldn't want to. But just imagine if SPS was included in the burn event. And I know that's not perfect because we want it to be cards, we want it to be other assets, and technically if you burn DEC, the only place that you can get DEC from outside of the marketplace, if it's at or above PEG, is SPS. So, we'll have to wait and see how things play out. But again, just sharing this little bit of a thought experiment here, because in my mind, I would really love for us to get to the next bull run, or at some point in the bull run, actually get our token supply down to about 1 billion tokens. Is that going to happen? I don't know. We'd have to burn a lot of SPS. And the thing is, the higher the price of SPS goes, the less effective burning it for DEC becomes, right? Because if if we burn, let's say SPS goes to 5 cents, right? So double what it is now, we'd only need to burn half of it in order to get that same 5 billion DEC. So to me, this represents just like an interesting golden opportunity. And if we can find ways in which we incentivize people to burn SPS, it's like, oh, let's just get as much of it off the table right now. So, if we go, where is it? They have a nice chart here on Splinter Cards. We have 3.8% burned, right? So 200 million would actually be a significant percentage that we would burn out of the entire amount, right? This 3.8 is not the 3.8% of what's currently out, but the entire 3 billion, right? So what is it? I guess 300 million would be 10% of it. So we'd be burning another like 6 to 7% if we were to burn 200 million SPS. But, look, a man can dream. I was just trying to run through the numbers here. And the only reason is because I'm thinking about SPS hitting a new all-time high from its token perspective, not from a market cap perspective. Because if we do that from a market cap perspective, that would only be about like 20 to 25 cents. It's going to be somewhere in that range. Whereas if we do it from the token price, we hit over $1. And for us to hit $1 now, that would mean that we would be valued at 1.2 billion, which is higher than pretty much any other gaming project out there. And I just personally don't think that that's possible. I know a rising tide raises all ships. All the market caps are going to go up, but 1.2 billion just seems way, way out there. And keep in mind, if we're still minting a ton of SPS per day, over the next 6 months to a year, or actually maybe closer to a year, this could actually become 1.5 billion, right? So there's still a lot of SPS to come, and there's still a lot that's out there. And so I'm just trying to think of like, okay, what's a reasonable market cap for us to hit when we get to, the euphoric stage of the bull run, in order to get SPS to the highest level possible. If we reduce the amount of tokens, well, that makes our job just that much easier. But, regardless, there's a lot of cool things happening within the ecosystem. You got Soul Keep, you got the ranked rewards changes, you got even stuff happening on, Mooncarts and Arcade Colony, which is, the Arcade Colony airdrop is going to add a lot of, that's going to add a lot of utility to SPS directly, right? So there's a lot happening, but just thought I'd share some numbers with you because it's not that crazy. It's not that outside the realm of possibility that we could actually use 5 billion DEC once again at some point in the future. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Otherwise, I'll catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.